Hello Internet! It's Friday, but not just any Friday, it is actually Google News Friday. We'll read off 5 headlines from Google News, give my opinion on them, and that's pretty much how it goes. Pretty much all I could do this week at work is listen to the news. I'm just extremely lucky that I can actually get NPR while listening on my phone here in Sydney. I don't like shock jocks, I don't like overly commercial radio networks, and I don't have satellite radio. Right, headline 1, Milky Way on collision course with foreign galaxy. NASA astronomers say they can predict with certainty that the Milky Way galaxy is going to collide with the Andromeda galaxy in about 4 billion years. Oh gosh, that's really cool. Let us get on our spaceships and run. I'd like to see that actually. I'd like to see giant star cluster heading to collide with giant star cluster. But not too close. I want to observe it from about the same distance that you would want to observe a bullfight. Headline 2. John Edwards admits doing an awful lot that was wrong as he walks free from corruption case. I listened to the news at length about this and oh my gosh, dude, seriously, John Edwards is an asshat. Of course, he didn't do anything illegal, but I have very little respect for the guy. I mean it, as far as marital fidelity goes, he should go to the punishment hat. Which still doesn't have a name, by the way. I'm deciding on the name now. I got one suggestion. We need more, and we also need more punishments. Crowdsourcing. Headline 3. Irish voters appear to have backed EU treaty by narrow margin. So the Eurozone, which includes Ireland and Italy and France and Germany and Greece, which is having a lot of problems right now, came up with a treaty that basically said we're not going to move towards austerity anymore. We're going to move towards growth-producing stuff. I'm no economist yet. And the Irish Attorney General, as far as my knowledge is concerned, decreed that basically every time the European Union proposed a treaty, it would be subject to a referendum. As far as I know, no other countries in the European Union have voted on it on a referendum like Ireland did. Moving on, headline 4. Suu Kyi urges healthy skepticism over Myanmar reform. So Aung San Suu Kyi, if you don't know who she is, basically she's Myanmar? What's the demonym for Myanmar? So we're still good to use Burma. Alright, well, Aung San Suu Kyi is Burmese, and basically she's a Nobel laureate, she's a democracy advocate, and the military government, which has pretty much governed Burma for a while now, has kept her under house arrest for quite a while. But very, very recently, she and her party were allowed to participate in democracy, and she and her members won in local elections, and they were allowed into parliament. That didn't come easily, by the way. And so for the first time in about 2 decades, she's actually left the country, and she did a talk. She basically talked to these business leaders, and she warned them that although Burma was making its way towards a full and free democracy, it wasn't there yet. So maybe you should hold on throwing cash onto a government that has been known to go back on its word. Don't get me wrong, she does want foreign investment in the country. She believes it's good for the economy. But she also wants investors to think about what they're doing. I mean, I don't think she wants really greedy investors coming there and investing in all sorts of infrastructure while ignoring the fact that the democracy isn't quite the democracy that she and her party are aiming to achieve. Alright, moving on to headline 5. This one will be tough. So the Syria crisis, there's so many atrocities going there right now. The Hula massacre is the most prominent one in the news at the moment. The UNHRC has called an emergency meeting, and right before the filming of this video, I was actually watching the live stream of it. The UNHRC, by the way, is the United Nations Human Rights Council. As far as what I know, all fingers currently point to the Assad regime in Syria. The Syrian government, meanwhile, has said that it's a terrorist organization. You know, essentially they're blaming the Free Syria movement. Qatar, Turkey, and the United States have a draft resolution pretty much condemning the actions in Hula. And in other places. I mean, I've just heard reports on the BBC that this isn't unique. Russia is facing increasing pressure to change its stance on this conflict. Russia has always held a position that the Syrian government and those who fight it right now, because it's a civil war, should get together and negotiate. They back the plan set forward by Kofi Annan. Here's my trouble with that though. I don't think that plan is working. And the way I know that's not working is that people are being killed indiscriminately in the doesn't. I mean, my primary frustration with this issue is I think it's gone on for a little long, don't you think? I know this vlog is fairly new, but I honestly want to know, what can we do? Because we have to do something. I mean, we can't just sit here and do nothing, or is doing nothing the way we should go about it. I don't know, I'm in a bit of a muddle about this, so suggestions, comments, even not nice comments are really welcome. I think we should talk about it, try and find a way to help Syrians who are on the ground right now and suffering, whether it's from the Syrian government or not from the Syrian government. The fact is that there are innocent people caught in the middle, and basically they're getting sandwiched by these two forces. Whatever means and views either force has, it's the people who actually lose here are basically your ordinary Syrian people. I've got to confess, this has actually entered my mind more than a few times when I was trying to get more time to play Diablo 3. So I'm gonna leave it at that for the weekend, folks. I honestly hope you have a good weekend. We will all have a better weekend than what's going on in Syria right now. I love your thoughts. I love your suggestions. Thank you very much for the comments. I shall do like what Sarah N Vlog suggested a few videos ago and get more Diablo time and focus less on making the videos. But yeah, I deliberately put the Syria headline last so I could talk the most about it. Thanks guys for listening. Thanks for listening to my rambling. I really would love to hear your suggestions. Thank you very much. See ya!